College Football Update. It's with your host, Sean Spencer and Alex Loosmore. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And it is Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, November 5th. We are here in the thick of fall. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. It's getting cold outside, which means football is at its getting to its peak, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting to its peak. And we got so much to dive into. But before we get into that, you already know I got to see my guy over here. Maize in blue himself, and still Ohio State's daddy, my guy, Mr. Alex Loosmore. What up, Alex?
Not too much, man. Hopefully we can keep that title in a few weeks here, but gotta stay alive till then. One of the few teams that still has a chance to make the playoffs. We gotta win that game to get in. We saw the initial playoff rankings last night. We'll go over those in just a minute here. There's a lot of thoughts about it. Don't know how many I'm gonna get into, but there was a lot to pick apart from that last night.
Oh yes, there is so much speculation, so many different scenarios that could play out, and it will be eager to see. And with somebody that you see him in front of that brick wall, somebody that is very, very in tune to everything that seems to be going down with his Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You see that guy, your buddy and mine, E.K. Holiday. What up, Eric?
I'm just here to talk about Navy. All I'm worried about is Navy. That is
a great way to look at it.
Happy to be here.
Oh, absolutely. Navy, you know, they're a little perturbed after taking that L to North Texas. Oh, me, oh, my, no longer undefeated. So they got a bone to pick. But look, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. This is College Football Update. So glad you can be here to join us. Definitely hit us up in the comments because we got a lot to talk about. And let's go ahead and get right into it. The first official CFP rankings are out, like my guy Alex alluded to, and let's bring them up right here. Boom, boom. All right, now let's read them as is. 1 through 5, Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama, and Georgia. 6 through 10, Ole Miss, BYU, Texas Tech, Oregon, and Notre Dame. 11 through 15, Texas, OU, Utah, Virginia, and Louisville. 16 through 20 is Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Miami, USC, and Iowa. And then rounding out the top 25 is Michigan, Missouri, Washington, Pittsburgh, and Tennessee. Alex, you see the list. You see your guys in there at 21. All of this stuff is most likely going to change. We know a lot of teams are playing each other, but the first official CFP rankings, what do you think, man? Do they think they got it right, or is this just something to put out there for now?
I think it's kind of similar to what we talked about with the AP poll last week. I think the top probably 13, 14 in there is accurate. And then I think you can kind of rip apart and put back together 15 through 25 in a bunch of different ways and argue that it's right. The one big thing that I took away from this yesterday is you can pretty much see how they're aligning the playoff. There's going to be 4 to 5 SEC teams. There's going to be 3, maybe 4 Big Ten teams. You've got the other 3 auto bids. You might get a second. You're probably going to get a second Big 12 team in there as long as Texas Tech makes the conference championship game. Then I think a BYU could still, or a Utah could sneak in on the back end of that. You're only getting one ACC team. The way they've fallen apart here, kind of cannibalizing each other over the last couple weeks here. The fact that they're 14, 15, 17, and 18 means you're realistically only getting the ACC champion in there. And to me, I don't see why Tennessee's ranked. That's my big one out of the top 25 here. That I'm like, why are they ranked? if I'm not mistaken, all their wins are against teams with losing records. Every ranked matchup they've had this year, they've lost. They're 0-3 in ranked matchups. So it's like, why are we hanging them in there other than the fact that then it's an extra ranked win for Alabama and for Georgia and for all these other teams to kind of boost resumes? To me, that should have been a group of 5 team. Memphis is the top group of 5 team as of now. They should have been in there. It looks weird to me to have a non-ranked team in the playoff. That's my big one. I would have put Memphis in over Tennessee. As far as the back end, like I was saying, a lot of these teams are going to move in and out. I think Missouri losing their quarterback Pagula to that broken leg, I think they're going to slide on out. I don't think they have enough firepower now that he's gone. Hardy's great as a running back, but I think they're kind of toast. Georgia Tech is still in the running. They've obviously got that big game against Georgia. I'll say top 10 is pretty spot on. I think those you can pretty confidently say are 10 of the best teams in the country.
Oh, yeah. And Eric, I mean, you see your guys rounding out the top 10. I mean, look, and this isn't final, but you, like I alluded to in the intro, I mean, you're somebody that is focusing. You're drilled, you're laser focused on what's going on here because you guys obviously got to win out, but you still want to see what else is going to play out, man. What are your thoughts on the first CFP rankings?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to be in line with what Alex laid out, but certainly I'm a contrarian to a lot of what you guys throw out to just to cause trouble. So we'll just start with a lot of people say these initial rankings don't matter, but I think to Alex's point, like if you really watch college football, like you understand how important the initial ranking is, because this is what gives the initial amount of credit for everything that's happened up to this point of the season. So if my Irish were at 13 or 14 instead of 10, I'd be a lot more nervous than I am now about what needs to happen ahead of us. Whereas when they start at this initial point of 10, it's like, okay, so
You control your destiny now.
to a large degree. I mean, I still don't think it's a given, just depending on what happens, but you win, you should be in.
Yeah.
So with all that said, I mean, do I think that they got the rankings right as far as what it should be? Yes and no. I still don't understand year-to-year criteria as far as, is this a best teams or is this a most deserving teams? Some years it seems like it's, let's put the best teams, and some years it's all right, it's more deserving. This year is falling more to that more deserving side when you look at the initial rankings. I do not believe that the top 10 is probably the best 10, just because BYU, I think Texas Tech is quite good. I don't know that I'm ready to say that they're top 10, but they are top 10 worthy. So that's where I differ with Alex a little bit.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Are they top 10 worthy? Or we're talking about Texas Tech. Are they top 10 worthy with their third string QB? Because they're
back to the starter now.
Oh, he's back. Okay, never mind.
Morton played on Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, then they're good.
So
they're good.
This isn't a Florida State kind of deal.
They got the guy now.
Yeah, so I think I can see the top. I want the cutoff to be Georgia Tech, but I would say Miami is the cutoff of teams that can potentially make the playoffs outside of the Memphises of the world that can sneak in. So Tennessee, to Alex's point, that is certainly just a SEC placeholder. Yeah. So the thing that really hurts with the rankings, and the thing that puts fear with the rankings, is when teams are overinflated, and especially with the initial ones, when you have 1, 2, 3 what is it, 4 SEC teams in a row, and then you
Yeah.
have 11 and 12 also in the rankings. That once you
And
come
then
out with these
16.
initial rankings, it never looks bad when people lose then. So you can only drop so far. So should Texas and Oklahoma be as high as they are right now, both with 2 losses? I mean, I don't understand how they're over Virginia, but in the same right,
Because
we have,
SEC versus ACC.
yeah, yeah, but it goes back to that. We're not making our mind up of, in this spot we're doing more deserving, in this spot we're doing who we think is better.
Yeah.
And that's the only caveat that really bothers me about the initial rankings, because if you look at that SEC and you look at, what is it? How many teams did we say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 teams being in the top 12.
Now,
Then
in this scenario, Texas and Oklahoma would both be out of the playoff.
yeah, but they're in the top 12
Yeah.
of perceived teams at the moment.
Yeah.
But, and this will be a debate for later, but you can't, it's inexplicable to me how you can have 6 of the top 12 teams, but neither of them are 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So it's politics, man.
Yep.
I guess that's my long-winded answer. And thank goodness, because we got a good politician or two backing us. So
Now, I will say one counter I have to yours is there's 3 teams after Miami that still have a realistic shot that control their destiny to get in, and that's 19, 20, and 21. I do believe that if Michigan beats Ohio State, Michigan will climb up enough to get in. USC and Iowa still both have a shot at the Big Ten title game, and that auto bid.
So my counter to your counter is just that I don't see them doing that.
Fair.
So that's everyone on this list except for Tennessee could find a way into, but I do not believe that anyone after Miami is likely capable, including,
And yeah,
what number
that's
is
fair.
that? What's that? 21? Yeah.
I was like, we're very much a long shot. We have to win that game.
Yeah, but if you do, to your point, everybody does for the most part control their own destiny here.
Because I was like, then that resume is you beat the number 1 team, and your losses are to the current 12 and 19. So, and depending how those 2 finish up, would really help the, again, politicking at that point. The big thing that we've seen time and time again with these playoffs is the big brands seem to get the nod when there's any sort of like close contention. So if there's a bunch of teams kind of fighting for those last 2 non-auto bid spots, it's typically going to go to the bigger brands that are left there.
Now, with that being said, let's look at a Vanderbilt. Let's look at a Georgia Tech, who perennially is not up there among the Alabamas and Georgias in the fans' eyes, or maybe the eyes of the committee. We've seen both of them took losses. Are we going to have absolute chaos for teams like that to get in? Like, these are, to your point, these teams aren't ones that can hang on their name being like, we're this, we're that, because they have not been here that many years. And a lot of people aren't 100% sold on a Vandy or on a Georgia Tech long term. It's a fun story, but can it really come to fruition? So when you look to your point about everything after 15, I mean, is it just everybody's there and they have to depend on chaos, or is it the way their resume is playing out? Maybe they can, if they just win state without a loss, they can just make it up in there.
Yeah, not at all. Chaos doesn't need to happen for a Vandy or a Georgia Tech. The resume for Vandy is what we talked about just a couple minutes ago, which is the fact that 6 of the top 12 teams are in the SEC. Some of them are going to play each other. So someone is going to lose. Vanderbilt is going to move up as long as they continue winning. The other catch to that is Miami still has Georgia, or not Miami, Georgia Tech has Georgia on their schedule.
Right.
So for the
and
same
Pittsburgh, they have 2 ranked matchups.
Yeah, so for the same exact reason, Georgia Tech kind of controls their own spot. Where Pittsburgh will be when they play, I don't know, because Pittsburgh plays both us and Georgia Tech, so that might look a lot different in a good way or a bad way by the time that they play. So I really think for the most part, if you put your head down and win, if you're in that top 18, that you got a pretty damn good chance of getting in.
Yeah.
To me, I agree wholeheartedly with Georgia Tech. I think they control their destiny. Pittsburgh and Georgia. I think if they win against Georgia, they're in. It's kind of how I view that for them, because I realistically see them winning the other 2 games. I don't think Vanderbilt can win and get in because of the resume. What they have left is home games against Auburn and Kentucky, and then at Tennessee. So depending how Tennessee is sitting at the end, it could help them. But otherwise, they lost to Texas, who's in the running. They lost to Alabama, and none of their other wins are ranked wins at this point. So,
but losing in this scenario, and thank goodness for it, losing is not a negative in the eyes of this committee.
True, and the Texas one ended up being a close loss, so that helps. Right. But the Bama one was 2 scores, so I think that one hurts them.
Certainly, but to that same credit, I think they view a close loss better than a blowout win over a bad team.
I agree with that,
and that's where it gets kind of interesting, and the overinflation of a certain conference. Even though I think that conference is the best conference this year, it's kind of wild that they own that much real estate.
Yes.
Yeah. The other thing for that would be really interesting with Vandy is if they look at just they lost by 3 to Texas, they lost by 13, 14 to Alabama, whatever it was, or do they look at the actual game itself where Texas kind of manhandled them for 3.5 quarters and then Vandy woke up, almost stole it at the end. It'll be interesting to see for those kind of teams where they don't really have a great resume, to see if they look at it as just a close loss or they were kind of getting walked over and then crawled their way back in. As far, like Vanderbilt, Iowa. The one thing that'll help Iowa that I'll say, they're the only team that's kept Indiana close. I think they're the only team that kept Indiana under 30 points this year.
Ooh.
So that helps them if they can win out. I mean, they play Oregon this weekend. So if they could win that, then not only would that probably knock Oregon out, but I think it would climb Indiana way up to Iowa way up to have a chance to be in. Because of that close loss, like you said, and then if they were to win against Oregon. So this back half is going to be really interesting to see how it shakes out, how many of these teams can move up into striking range to actually get in.
Oh, yeah. And what really intrigued me, obviously, as we know, ACC. So I've loved being able to see that we have the 4, five actually. Yeah, 5 now. Yeah, because you got Virginia, Louisville, Georgia Tech, Miami, and now Pitt. And Pitt really intrigues me because, like you guys said, I mean, they have two big matchups ahead of them with having to face Notre Dame, having to face Miami. Don't they got to face
Georgia Tech,
or
right?
Georgia Tech? So they can obviously potentially move. But to your point, Alex, is the ACC? Is it really just dependent on who gets to the ACC championship and wins it? Can even the loser of potentially the ACC championship, can they still have a shot at getting in?
I think you would need Virginia to run the table the rest of the way, be one loss going in, and lose that game would be the only shot at getting a second team in. I truly think that, because Georgia Tech right now the conference championship game would be Virginia and Georgia Tech, and that's kind of how I see it shaking out. But Pitt's right there, so realistically it's. If Virginia wins out, it's them against the winner of that Georgia Tech Pitt game. More likely than not. But I mean, Miami doesn't have a shot at this point. They're 2-2 in conference. They're gone. So it's really the other 4 ranked teams. So I don't see Miami having a shot at this point. I think they're toast. Really, it's Pitt, Louisville, Virginia, Georgia Tech, and 2 of those. I think the only shot would be Virginia wins out, loses in the title game.
And our buddy has returned. Oregon at number
Alex?
9 sounds about right. Alamo Bowl, here we come. Hey, quack, baby, because we're making it. We're coming back.
It's like, what are you talking about? First off, the other thing is if this was the playoff bracket here, there's some really interesting matchups. You'd have Georgia hosting Memphis. Then you would have Ole Miss hosting Virginia. You'd have BYU Notre Dame. And then you'd have Texas Tech hosting Oregon. I think that would be a fun matchup there. Morton against Dante Moore. And then all that money that Tech spent during the offseason, they're building that roster. And then Oregon coming in. And the winner of that would play Ohio State. The winner of the Notre Dame game would play Indiana. So you'd see a couple rematches from last year's playoff potentially.
Is that right there?
Yeah, there we go. And the one interesting thing is they're setting up a lot of potential rematches.
Sign me up for that bracket.
Yeah, this is a really exciting bracket.
No, I want that region. Please sign me up for that region.
Oh yeah, you'd be laughing. That would set you up for probably another national championship game, a shot at A&M probably to get there.
I'd much rather be on that right side than that left side.
Yeah. That's a lot. A lot of really good teams on the other side, and then sorry Memphis, but you're a couple steps below the rest of those teams there. But I mean, there's that any given Saturday for a reason. You never truly know going in, but you can feel pretty confident that that Memphis is one and done.
I can't remember exactly what it is. So Alex, you're good at this. I kind of look at you as like the historian of these kinds of things. But when you look historically back at the initial playoff rankings, there are a number of teams that have come out of nowhere, that have ended up from the initial college football rankings into right in the thick of the mix of it. That have really, like, we're not talking about people right now that are going to have a shot, even though we're saying here's the 24, because we're disrespecting Tennessee together.
Yeah. I think there was something I looked at that said realistically, like, if everything played out the right way, there's still about 35 teams that have a realistic shot. Now, about 10 of those are the group of 5 bid that's still alive. But there's, like I've said multiple times, there's still a ton at play in the Big Ten. there's still a ton at play in the SEC. The ACC is totally still up for grabs. Same with the Big 12. So there's so many different combinations that could be in those conference championship games that could be, like I said, potentially in Iowa or USC from 18-19 getting that potential auto bid if things go their way. There's still so much up for grabs as far as this playoff goes. And yeah, like
one auto bid to really throw a wrench.
Yeah. I mean, because you're realistically your Big Ten champion could be the 10 or 11 seed with that auto bid, and Ohio State could still be the 1, 2, 3, or 4 and not even play in the Big Ten title game. So there's still so many different combinations. And that's what I think makes this 12-team playoff so great, is that it seemed like, and I brought this up last week, it seemed like when we got to November, it was like, okay, there's the Michigan-Ohio State game, there's the Alabama-Auburn game, and there's like 3 other games that really decided the Final Four playoff. And everything else was kind of already falling into place. Where now we're talking about freaking BYU Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's almost a playoff clincher for the winner of that.
But realistically, we could also see both of those teams falling out completely.
Absolutely. There's so much chaos with this right now that makes it so entertaining to watch.
Oh yeah. Jim Jones said, "Go LSU!" Ha ha ha! And he says, "I love but hate the new faces." Oh yeah. And I mean, and honestly, that's an interesting question, Eric. I think you hit on something big. You know, BYU, Texas Tech, these are the familiar names when it comes to playing deep in the season. And then for that matter, UVA, Memphis. So we know, look, that was the big question with an SMU, with an Arizona State, with some of those teams from a year ago. Maybe not as much Arizona State, but definitely like an SMU when they came in last year was, can they hang with the big dogs? And you see this Memphis, you know, you talked about it, Alex, them being potentially one and done, and whoever potentially is, you know, that auto bid for the group of 5, like, is there any shot? Is there anybody to, you know, Eric was saying, you know, who's not in this top 25, not on this list? Is there anybody that's going to come out of anywhere? And even if they do, what realistic chance do we have to see somebody actually win a game that's not a Georgia, Ohio State, Notre Dame, etc.?
Well, I think there's a lot of teams that stylistically create terrible matchups for other teams. A Georgia Tech plays football so differently from the majority of the country that it makes it hard to game plan for them. Same as if a Navy potentially gets in as that group of 5. Iowa, I mean, plays football like it's still the 1940s. It's like it's there's a lot of these teams that play a different brand of football than what, say, an SEC team is used to or a Big 12 team is used to. Like, different conferences have teams where it's like, oh, okay, if we had to play that team from another conference, this is going to be tough. Like, so again, I think that's what makes these things so interesting, because you said maybe not Arizona State from last year, but we were kind of saying Arizona State was like, did they really have a shot? And right. I mean, they gave Texas everything they could handle. Yep. And it was one of those where we just kind of expected Texas to just kind of breeze on by. And it was like, oh damn, like this is a game right down to the wire. So I mean, there's so many unexpected matchups and things where we're gonna say, oh, this is an easy win for so and so, and they're gonna get punched in the mouth and be like, oh damn, okay, here we gotta strap in and go.
Yeah.
Round 1, I think, is pretty wide open for numerous reasons. We can talk about the styles that Alex talked about. We can talk about layoffs. You know, a few weeks here, a couple weeks there. Home field advantage versus non-home field advantage. So there's a lot week 1 where I can see, you know, just like any college football game for the most part, where, I mean, any team that's going to make the playoffs is going to be a competitive football team.
Yeah.
So therefore, you know, with the right elements I think week 1, anybody could be got. Week 2, I think that's when all of a sudden, all right, we've got our legs under us, or we're playing the top dogs. Now, seeing a Cinderella run after week 1 is going to be where things, I think, the cream of
Kind
the
of go
crop.
today.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't I don't see UVA as much as I'm rooting for them. Could I see them beating Ole Miss? Absolutely.
Yep.
Could I see them beating Ole Miss and then Texas A&M? Absolutely not.
Yep.
So,
Mm-mm.
same thing for BYU. Could they sneak one out against Notre Dame? Sure. Could they get Notre Dame and IU? Probably not.
Yeah.
Same with Texas Tech, Oregon, Ohio State. So, I mean, just the example we have on the board is just great for it. Georgia has seemed very gettable. Could Memphis get them?
All year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Could Memphis get them and Alabama? Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing that makes those first games so important, you alluded to it, the elements, what's the temperature going to be? And it might not play as big of a role in Georgia and Ole Miss being in the South, but you got to go out to BYU, or if somehow you guys, when you hosted, who did you guys host?
Indiana. So it wasn't bad, but
Yeah.
I mean, Tennessee had to go to Ohio State last year.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
the
those kind of
reason-
matches where you get a team from the South going to the North, or a North to the South, or if we have one where a West Coast team has to go all the way to the East, like in Oregon,
Yeah.
if they were to play, say, Ole Miss, Georgia, someone like that, where they had to go all the way across the country, that creates issues as well, because you have to travel, you have to game plan around all that. Like and then stylistically, if it's hot going to cold, that changes a lot.
There's a reason historically that we finish our season at USC at the end of the year.
Yep.
If we're playing the away game, and USC refuses to come out to play us after October.
Too cold.
Yeah.
So
Too cold.
that is very real. And it was very hilarious watching the Tennessee players come out with their shirts off and get
trying to be like OBJ and
That
the
was a-
Giants that year.
That was a big reason that I said that Ohio State was going to dog walk Tennessee last year. I mean, Ohio State was the much better team, but factor in, you're in the horseshoe, you're in the elements. It's December, it's cold. I didn't think they stood a chance. Like,
let me say, sometimes being a man is knowing that you need to put on extra layers.
More clothes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Put on more clothes.
My O-line coach used to have a rule when I played junior football that you didn't put long sleeves on or like anything other than like a t-shirt on underneath until it snowed. So it could be 20 below, and if there's no snow, you're not wearing sleeves. Otherwise, you're running for it. So it was one of those things that it sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect the thought process people are trying to get by with that stuff, but nah.
Yeah.
Like, I can get it in game because you are moving, especially for a lineman, you're constantly doing it. For running back, I needed sleeves because my hands and my arms got cold and that ball became an icicle.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
When it's 15 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
they all need it.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Every single one of them.
You need it.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. They all wish they had it too. But even still, before the game, doing it and doing it in game, kind of, it's still cold. It's still cold. Period.
Oh yeah. Let's go drop our body temperature way down before the game. Yeah.
Yeah. That's get out of here with that stuff. Hey, Jim Jones said, "Heck yeah!" And Navy still with that triple option and could be really tough to defend on any given play. They could take it to the house. Our buddy Will Kramer in the comments saying, "Go Who's," because his Virginia Cavaliers. Look at them; they're in there. And Jim Jones says, "Yeah, you have to have stamina in the CFP." So I agree that some teams can pull the first round, but going deep, you have to be an elite conditioned and mindset team. Yeah, you absolutely have to be elite. Right.
I think Ben's YouTube comment here is a really good point, too. I think there's realistically 4 or 5, maybe 6 teams that I could legitimately see going and winning it all. Where it used to be just kind of like one or two, and maybe somebody else could sneak in. There's not really anyone completely pulling away this year. Like, I mean, you've seen stretches where Ohio State, it's like, oh damn, they could really pull away, or Indiana's had stretches where it's like, oh damn, or Alabama, or like, but nobody's consistently been like, oh, they are the top dog.
I think the perception right now is that Ohio State is, and then everything else is up for grabs. Whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent, that is the perception at the moment.
Yep.
You can shake your head at me, Will, but that is the overall perception. I'm not saying that's what I believe, but that is the general consensus.
I mean, and as much as I hate... Oh, go ahead.
Alabama's winning the national championship. Okay. Jim Jones, are you listening? The Tigers are going to be seeing another championship for the Crimson Tide.
I do think Ohio State and Alabama meet in that. Like, if this was the bracket now, meet in that semifinal, and the winner of that probably wins it all.
I'm just going to be shocked if someone that the Grim Reaper went after comes back.
Yeah, you went after Kalen DeBoer,
and survives.
First week.
Like this is some final destination stuff.
I may have overreacted a little bit on that one. No, actually, looking at this, I mean, there's some really cool matchups there. I mean, obviously, looking at what Georgia could do, what Texas Tech. I mean, it's at Oregon. Alec knows they're going to choke as they always do, But there's some really, really interesting games. I do feel horrible if UVA, they're not going to make it, but if they did and they had to play Ole Miss, my gosh, poor
who's winning the ACC then?
I don't know who's in the ACC. Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville, Tech.
I was going to say
Georgia Tech, Miami's probably not.
The way things stand right now, the conference championship would be Virginia and Georgia Tech. If
no way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The ACC is the equivalent of the MAC for Will.
Do you see my name?
Oh, God.
JMU should be a top 10 team then if these teams are getting into the college football playoff. My gosh.
Wow.
Well, maybe if your SEC didn't have so many inflated teams thrown in, maybe other teams would have a chance.
We're just so good, and we have too many losses. I mean,
Tennessee,
South Carolina would be in the ACC championship.
Wow.
Tennessee does not deserve to be a top 25 team.
I don't even know I just stopped. This is a legitimate show, and I'm coming on here saying I don't know who these teams are. See, this is why I don't come on here. I need to take a break from work and then say hello to y'all.
No.
I was trying to see how far I could get you to dig before.
Coming in hot.
Coming in fire on all cylinders. Yeah, I mean, look.
How was Tennessee not a top 25 team? Did they lose this weekend?
Who did they play this weekend?
Alex, just go through your synopsis again.
I agree with Ben. I too would like Oregon to finally win it all just for Alec to finally have some happiness.
You know what? Like, I wanted to root for him, but it just bugs the shit out of me now. So I am slowly finding myself rooting against Oregon.
Oh yeah, Tennessee lost Oklahoma this past weekend.
Yeah,
that's right. That was a close game.
The DoorDash quarterback just pushed me over, Sean. The DoorDash QB just said, "I can't root for this guy no more. I can't."
Every ranked matchup Tennessee's had, they've lost.
That's right. They're overrated. I agree with you.
Yeah, they're extremely overrated. And to me, you couldn't even put the group of 5 team at 25. You had to throw another a 3-loss SEC team in at number 25. Like, really?
Yeah, where's JMU?
He's better. Come on.
Well, Memphis is the top group of 5 team as of now. But they're probably 26 just so they could throw another SEC team in there. But
yeah.
Jim Jones says to you, Will, that's tomfoolery. LSU upsets Bama this weekend. Wow.
Oh,
yeah, make you crazy, my friend.
Yes, it does.
Now, I mean, here's the one thing though. Even though LSU's not very good this year, they always have that one game where they Oh, never mind. I was thinking it was in Baton Rouge. It's in Tuscaloosa. They're toast. I was like, they always have that one game where they should lose it at home and they just dog walk somebody. So,
they got that perfect. They got that perfect storm scenario where they do have a very good quarterback.
Yep.
And they just fired the coach. And how many times have we seen a team galvanize right after? And it doesn't have to be for a half. It doesn't have to be for the entire season, but it can be one game where they come together and you go, oh my gosh. All right, they're on the same page for a day.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is all it takes. Well, look, so this is what the committee says. It shows right now, but it definitely can change. But we will definitely be talking about that. But we know the real reason why Will came on this show, and it's because the Grim Reaper has returned from doing his work. We got to go back into the coaching carousel because another one bites the dust. Will, would you like to talk about what happened at Auburn this week?
Yes.
Where you visited?
I knew from the minute they hired Hugh Freeze. I'm like, this is not the direction you need to be going. And yes, he had a good run in Liberty, and he showed that he can win at that level. But come on now, like no, he's not going to do it. And they finally realized that they needed to pull the plug and get rid of him, which is good for them. But now, like, you're Auburn, and you've got all these schools above you that you're going to have to get somebody's, not their sloppy seconds. You're getting like their fourths and fifths opportunities for a coach. So, there are going to be some guys that are going to rise up. Maybe they could go after Alex. You said, the guy at Tulane, and he's an excellent candidate for a promotion. So maybe he could be someone that goes over there. But wrong year to fire your coach, Auburn. Wrong year.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. And let me give you a quick theory on this, Will. Here's what should have happened. All right. Tiger Woods, they took away his little black book. Dude couldn't win no more. He couldn't make those calls. He couldn't have his fun. Yeah. All right. Then he started having fun again off the course. And all of a sudden he got a swagger back before he started wrecking cars. Hugh Freeze, they need to get the girls back after him. And he would be winning just like he was at Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
They just let the man loose. Just let him loose. Give him the little black book back.
Shouldn't have seen Jesus. That was his problem. He found Jesus.
He could have hung out with Rick.
Forgot how to coach.
Rick Pitino down there.
I was just going to say Rick Pitino.
Yeah. You're right, Eric. You're spot on. That's what you got to do. Let the man be who he needs to be.
Yeah. I blame his wife. That's why Auburn.
Boy.
Yeah.
Oh man, but to your point, Will, this is crazy that's going on because we know that Harsin was there only a couple years ago, and aren't they still paying him?
Probably.
And this is the third coach they're paying. They're still on the books for what's his name?
Gus.
Yeah,
Malzahn.
They're still paying Malzahn.
Jeez.
So,
there's just a lot of money in Alabama, I guess. They're for them to be giving all this money to these coaches.
They're paying Gus to not score points at Florida State.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I think the first question that we all want to know, Mr. Reaper, who's next?
Yeah, who's knocking on after the show?
Who did we list last week? Because we listed Auburn.
Yeah,
I know we said Florida State.
Norvell.
Did NC State win this weekend?
Yeah, they upset Georgia Tech.
Yep.
Yeah, they did. They had the big upset. Did that save Dornan's job?
Probably.
There's some talk that he might be ready to walk away too. So
he might just up and leave.
Yeah, he might get a stay of execution on his own accord. Yeah,
retire. Who else? Who else did we name last week?
I brought up a list for you. What's the latest on Fickle? How you feeling on Fickle?
He's got to go. He should. Who do they play this week? It's a blowout, I think. They didn't play last week.
I'll look it up.
No, they play Washington. Yeah, so there's going to be another loss. So they're going to be 2-7. Yeah, that's probably the next one coming. Luke Fickle.
All right. So coacheshotseat.com, which we know is the most reputable site, at number 7 has Shane Beamer.
Ooh.
Would be a mistake. Not
Well,
because of it would be a mistake because just like we're talking about with Auburn, South Carolina is below Auburn in jobs destination. So now you're so far down. Like that would be a mistake.
All right. We got Dave Aranda, Baylor.
Baylor.
He's survived execution a few times over the last couple of
Yeah.
years when it looked like it was coming.
See, it's funny because you still hear his name in circles for getting some of these
Promotions.
other jobs. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an interesting one.
A little surprised that his name hasn't popped up with LSU with the success there.
Yeah.
And then Mark Stoops.
Yeah, it's too bad. Like we've talked about, he's doing about as best you can do there.
Kentucky.
But they have recently had a couple bad seasons where he kind of had that climb. Yeah, so it may be time for him. But again, you're Kentucky. What are you going to get in this climate this year?
I agree completely. So
there's going to be a lot of like.
Go ahead.
There's going to be a lot of coordinators that get shots to be first-time head coaches. I bet
a lot of retreads too. A lot of retreads.
Do you all agree with that article that said Urban Meyer was meeting with Penn State to learn about the job, and then he's now saying that Hartline should get the job? But for me, I'm wondering if Meyer's talking about a job, is he looking to get back into college coaching?
So
is he going to take the LSU job?
The one thing I saw about that was that he did meet with Penn State supposedly, and it was going great until they talked NIL, and that Urban Meyer's plan for NIL was not what Penn State wanted. So then he turned around and said, "Well, if I can't get it, here's Brian Hartline. Go look at him."
That just makes me wonder: is he looking to get back into coaching?
If you're Penn
Jim
State,
Jones, are you going to take
job,
Urban Meyer? Could you say no to Urban Meyer?
What about him going back to Florida?
I mean, the savior returns.
You want it?
If you're Penn State, how do you say no to anything that Urban Meyer wants if you call him?
What'd you say?
If you're Penn State, how do you say no to anything Urban Meyer wants if you're willing to make the call to him initially?
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, with his history and his track record off the field, you've already said, all right, we've sold our soul.
Yes.
Especially based on, as Penn State, our track record of history.
Yes.
Now we're really doubling down on selling our soul. So at that point, NIL money is...
It's kind of surprising, Eric, that they couldn't say, like, you know what, your idea, because you've been out of this, is wrong, but we can help steer this. I mean, your job is to coach the football team.
Mm-hmm. Get him a GM to focus on the NIL aspect of it and have him be the coach.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what Jim Jones said. You don't tell Herb no. You don't tell Urban Meyer no.
Also, I would love to see that first Penn State-Ohio State matchup with Urban Meyer on the sideline. Because the next one would be Happy Valley. So have the whiteout game with Ohio State coming to play Urban Meyer's Penn State Nittany Lions.
But kind of what Will was getting at, if Urban's looking to get back in, someone's got to give Dan Mullen a crack at another big school.
Yes.
James.
I was thinking him maybe for like Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But he should have his pick of the... I mean, it was one of those things where it's like, will he get a top job? But to Will's point, there's so many top jobs now that he almost seems like he could be a lock to get another top job.
I think Kiffin and Franklin I think they're LSU in Florida is where I'm right now.
I think Kiffin is Ole Miss. I do not think he is leaving.
Think he's staying?
I do not think he is leaving. He seems happy.
I think he'd be smart to stay.
He seems happy and content for the first time, and he seems to run that campus.
And how much better are the other jobs really? Because he's getting everything he wants at Ole Miss.
Right.
They're spending money.
Kind of like Signetti in Indiana. He's set. He's getting everything he wants where he's at.
Yeah.
We mentioned.
Yeah, he'll definitely get paid by Ole Miss. because his
Exactly.
agent will be talking to
Well,
him.
here's the thing, though, is Kiffin got all those offers last year and didn't get the pay raise. It was, if you want to be here, you'll be here. So do they double down on that again this year?
Yeah, if they do, that's their mistake, because he has about 800 open jobs
Mm-hmm.
to go to.
But I mean, there were
backup.
some big ones last year too, and they were just like, if you want to go, there's the door. Like, we're not paying you anymore. So I don't know. It'll be interesting.
The door's always open for him, though. I mean, Auburn was open 2 years ago, and they were going to get him, right?
Yeah.
Florida might be open in 2 more years. So,
Mhm. Jim said we mentioned this last time. Dion, another terrible loss.
Yeah.
I mean, not even talking about going to Florida State, but just, is he going to retain the job? I know we mentioned last week that, because of everything outside of football and in Boulder, and how he's brought the fan base and got them so much attention. But these losses have been embarrassing. It was 53-7 against Utah, and then this week I think it was 52-17. He's been playing musical chairs with quarterbacks. I mean, they can't like this. I mean, what do you think, he's on the hot seat?
No. I mean, let's just keep going back to the will point. The will point is, who is Colorado going to get?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think he's getting fired, but I don't think he's the coach of Colorado next year. I think he steps away. We're seeing all the health issues he's having. He's spent almost as much time away from the team dealing with health stuff as he has as the coach of the team this year. I think there's a very real chance that he's done after this year. I think he might be medically forced to just step away.
Wow. I can see that. Because
it wouldn't be surprising to anyone.
Yeah. But they're not going to fire him, like you guys have said.
Yeah.
You saw there was a clip of him when Shador surprised him in his office or something like that, and he got kind of emotional. And then you really think about it. I mean, he's been coaching him since forever, since Pee Wee. That's all he's known. Yeah. So maybe this is, we also talk about Brady and Belichick and how close they were. I mean, these guys are even closer, and now they're not. Now they're separated, not doing it, and that may play a huge role in this whole thing. I did want to ask you guys though. When we know about Franklin, you talk about Kiffin, Signetti is another one who stayed in house and not really in a rush to go elsewhere. We're talking about all these coaches and potentially going elsewhere, but as we've seen recently, it's really, what have you done for me lately? These guys are not waiting 4 or 5 years. If you're not winning consistently and really making it, they're looking elsewhere, at least entertaining the idea. Do you think that's going to make some of these coaches now not rush into a job? Like we talked about Mullen, he's doing something good over there. Do you think he says, I'm not going to take these other big jobs, I'm just going to build this up, try to do like what Signetti did at Indiana? Or do you think they just, whatever the top dollar, I'll go to it? Like, what do you guys think about that?
I personally think that as long as they keep doing these contracts with heavy buyouts, that, hey, if I can get paid a bunch of money to go away and potentially go find a job elsewhere, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'll go take my if it doesn't work, I'll take my bag and just go elsewhere. Like,
yeah, I mean, some of these guys, I mean, we all talk about the $100 million contracts, but like, you have to imagine a guy as competitive as Dan Mullen. Like, he would probably not take as much to go somewhere where he might be able to field a championship team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's not going to win a national championship at UNLV. As much as I'm happy about their success, that's not happening anytime soon. The other question is, with how hot the seat gets so quickly, are you going to see coaches who are more adept to let me bolt before the execution comes, while my name still has a little juice to it? Do you see someone gets a little spiced up about the thought of Lincoln Riley,
Exactly.
even though he's been bad lately or not great lately. But he's still got a little flair and spice to the name. Does he get out of Dodge before things go south? So I would not be surprised if there are jobs that are not open that are very surprising to us that they become open to fill these other jobs.
Yeah. No, it kind of makes it, it makes sense. You're trying to save your name and not go through the having to be a TV analyst for a year before you can get back into it. I think kind of like what Ben's saying here, it all depends on the location. I think one of the cool things about NIL, like you said, Alex, about, Lane Kiffin and like Texas Tech, programs like that can become a destination if they're willing to fund it. I mean, I think fans of Auburn, if they can get someone, they're willing to throw us all of their life savings, for them to get a national championship. So you can build a place there. But I don't think UNLV is that spot. So I do think that's the stepping stone. So I think some lower, not low tier, but can stay consistent. But it kind of depends on where it is. And the great question, Jimbo's got to land somewhere, right?
It ain't Florida State.
Does he though?
It's not Florida State.
Yeah. I'm kind of with that.
I haven't heard his name other than us talking about it, to be honest.
I have seen his name pop up, but he's also, by all accounts, he's also been campaigning to get a job. So he's been traveling around. He's been meetings, all that good stuff. The question with Jimbo is, he has a national championship, and he had a great resume as a coordinator. But what did Jimbo ever build? Because he walked into Florida State was not at the top of their game, but it's not like he walked into a bare bones program when he took over Florida State. He left them in shambles when he left for Texas Tech or Texas A&M. What he did at Texas A&M didn't impress any of us. So
his recruiting classes were impressive, but he couldn't.
They were also gone after a year. So
never translate.
Yeah, what does that mean to us? The paychecks or the checks were out for Texas A&M before there was any regulation with the NIL stuff. So I'm just not sure. Like, should someone give him a shot? Yeah, but should it be like a mid-tier ACC team? Sure. North Carolina State, absolutely. Florida State, Auburn. No, I wouldn't go anywhere near him.
See, I was going to say, what about an Arkansas, maybe?
That's perfect. I mean, that's a great landing spot.
What's the difference between Arkansas and Auburn?
The difference between Arkansas and Auburn is a richer history that is more appreciated.
Well, Auburn's been hanging around the top 25 this year, been in and out of it. Arkansas hasn't sniffed it. That's another thing.
If Jerry Jones wants to pig suey them and finance them the way that in Arkansas, the way that these other schools are getting, but Auburn facilities are fantastic by all accounts. They have all the resources you can imagine. Arkansas has access to those things, but whether or not they've been able to tap into it has been a whole different debate and conversation.
Yeah.
And Jim Jones said, man, Louisiana state governor was pissed about Kelly and all the money wasted on him. So I'm sure LSU is going to go make a better decision this go round.
Well, and the big thing with
what
LSU is
situation.
They
go for it.
They finally took the interim tag off the AD. So he's going to be the new athletic director. So now he can go find his coach, which I think is a huge thing. Instead of them trying to find an athletic director and then the coach, they've got one locked in. Now let's go find the other.
Fun fact: AD is one of our players' dads. The new AD. Irrelevant, but just a fun fact.
Okay.
Is he going to transfer out?
Right.
I'm not too worried about it. His dad worked there when he committed to us, so I think we're all right.
There you go. So before we get out of here, and while we have you, is there anybody else we should be aware of that will be without a job next week, Mr. Kramer?
Yeah, I think we're on fickle watch right now. I think Eric hit that one.
So, Will, the others that we didn't get to are in ways close to two of the people on here's hearts. 1 and 2 on coacheshotseat.com, which, as we said, is the official website of coaches getting fired, are Jonathan Smith of Michigan State
I think
and
that
Greg
one's coming.
Bloxley of Maryland.
I don't think that one's happening.
Ooh, that's close to home, Will. What do you think?
I think they'd be wrong to do that one.
So I think it's going to be interesting. It depends on what happens these next couple of games. He has to beat Rutgers because otherwise he would have had another. I mean, he goes 4-0 and then 0-8. And there's a new athletic director there, so they're on to something. But again, I'd say, my gosh, what are you going to do for Maryland if you're competing against all these schools? You're like the 10th job someone could want. Not a good thing.
Ooh, can I respond to Jared Harmon real quick?
Mm-hmm,
Jared,
mm-hmm.
Brian Kelly deserves a big job 100 times more than Jimbo Fisher deserves a big job. And that is with the pain that Brian Kelly has bestowed upon my life. So, and I do not know for a fact that LSU is going to make a better hire than Brian Kelly.
I'm still sticking on that Brian Kelly to MSU. I'm sticking to that narrative that I said.
But
I said it last week, and I'm sticking to it. They fired Jonathan Smith, hire Brian Kelly.
Let's just say this as we button this up. Everybody's firing their coaches, and everybody's next coach is going to be the greatest coach they've ever had.
Yes. Yo, and I'm not even going to ask about my coach, but anytime you want to mention his name, Will, feel free.
Nope.
Of course, you leave him there. No.
I like the
misery. EK has his narrative on that one.
Right. But look, that is an interesting scenario because I know you're talking about with getting his son in there, but is Bill, if he's able to turn things around here, is he fishing for another college job or is he going back pro?
Maybe pro if they could give him what he wants, but I don't think anyone's going to. So I think it's UNC until he walks away fully.
He hurt that reputation a lot.
Until Jordan wants to become a mother.
Oh God. On that note, thank you.
Will talked about. I'm trying to remember who he talked about, but he talked about. I think it was with Dabo. It was like he don't get rid of Dabo, but he needs to clean house with the coordinators. I think the AD needs to lay it down. Like, all right, you don't have to fire any coordinators, but you have to dump the girlfriend. Like, she's got to go.
Gotta get her out of here.
She's got to go.
Get her out of here.
Fire the girlfriend.
That's what Bill says.
For Bill Belichick, he probably would consider it firing. Let's be real. Everything is so like organization. He's firing the girlfriend.
Or what's worse,
what if he
walks away for her? What if he walks away? What if he's like, I'm done. I love her too much. What does it? What
with her? You mean
walks away from football? Oh my god,
for her. At this point,
then the second that he's not a coach anymore, she's gonna be like, "Hey, bye." Like,
exactly.
She's gonna be riding off in the Ferrari of their second string quarterback.
Betty in her church.
Right. Yes.
That's
Jordan.
funny. That's funny.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and head out of here. We appreciate y'all tuning in on College Football Update, talking a little bit of the college football rankings and the coaching carousel. Stay tuned next week as we come back. So we have our guy Grim Reaper tell us who is going to be the next guy without a job.
After Fickle gets fired, who's next?
Hey, what about Bill O'Brien?
Oh yeah, you hate this guy.
I don't hate him. I think he's
very much despise this guy.
No, I hate Pat Narduzzi. I hate Pat Narduzzi.
Yeah, Narduzzi is getting promoted though. Look what he's doing at Pitt.
Dude, every year at Pitt, they're good, and then the train crashes. Every year. It just goes derailed. I will eat my words in 2 weeks.
I'm not saying he's good. I'm just saying he's doing good.
Oh, I'm just saying I hate him. I wasn't saying that he can
God,
coach or not coach, but it's hatred.
Wow, triggered. Definitely triggered.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going. Bill Bryan's a T-Move Kelly. We're heading out of here. Yo, for my guy, Will Kramer, appreciate the Grim Reaper stopping by. You see Mr. Maze in blue, Alex Loosemore, and then the guy sitting in front of that brick wall. His name is E.K. Holiday, and it's your boy, Sean Spencer. We appreciate you joining us. Appreciate all you guys in the comments. Jared, Jim Jones, Ben Cornett. We talked about Maryland, so Nathan wasn't going to show up, but he'll tune in later. He'll hit me up later tonight about it.
Yeah.
But we gotta head out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, stay tuned for all the good stuff coming up. Let's Talk Football. The Roundtable, I believe, is on right now, so definitely tune into that. But we will get back with you on the flip side. Peace, people.
College Football Update. It's with your host, Sean Spencer and Alex Loosemore.